I'm not mad. I'm disappointed, is exactly what I would say to the people who are managing Boruto, the series. Now, for those of you who might not know, Boruto is the sequel to the hit series Naruto, both the manga and the television. Now, some further information about Naruto is that Naruto is considered one of the holy shonen trinity, meaning it's kind of a big deal. So to make a bad sequel like this is kind of it's not good. Now, I'm going to be going over the show arc by arc and dissecting and explaining what could make the arc better, and then with all that added together, what would make the show better in the very end. Now, before we go into anything really, we need to talk about the characters of Boruto, specifically the three main characters, that being Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada, and what their goals should be throughout the show. Because without any characters with goals, we don't really have anything to look forward to. The show might as well be a serial cartoon. That said, I believe a good start to have each of these characters their goals stand by is having goals reflective of their parents. Let me explain what I mean. Let's start with Mitsuki, because he is my favorite, at least when it comes to aesthetically, and I do find him pretty interesting as a character. His whole arc in the show should be him trying to become not like his father, Orochimaru, who is a heartless monster who only thinks for himself. Mitsuki can do this by finding a way to fight for his friends, and he does do that in the show, but I also believe that, similar to Sai, he should also grow more charisma, kind of like how Jiraiya is. After this, we got Sarada, and honestly, they don't really have a problem with what they did with Sarada. They basically kind of made it like a smarter version of Naruto. At least I think that's what they were going for. However, I do wish that they stuck with this more. Her character is that she should just be a good person, and she wants to do good, kind of like how Naruto was. She wants to prove herself to people, kind of like how Naruto was. However, something I do think should have been touched upon is Sarada's Uchiha heritage and her trying to step away from all the evil that we have seen the Uchiha done, especially in Shippuden and the earlier arcs of Naruto. I think that would make her an even more interesting character. And now we get into the main character, the one you guys were all waiting for, Boruto. What do I think should be done with this character? Well, there's a lot, actually. Now, instead of making Boruto kind of spoil little shit, I feel what they should focus on is making Boruto kind of like an Itachi-like character. Someone who is very strong, but doesn't like fighting, but is a product of the world around him. This would inspire him to then overcome Naruto and seek out Sasuke, because Sasuke has a similar code to Boruto. Someone who just sits in the background and does the right thing. Before I go into detail about the individual arcs of Boruto, I want to go into the world of Boruto, some things I would change right off the bat. And the first thing I would change is the world peace. I don't think there should be world peace. That just sets up for a boring story. And how do I know this? We can just compare Boruto and how it started out to Naruto and how it started out. There's a lot of tension in Naruto between Naruto and the other villages and the individual characters, and we don't get to see that in Boruto, and there's a lot less attempts at conflict, or at least interesting conflict, because of this. Some conflicts I believe that could be cool that we haven't seen yet are with the villages other than the 5 main that we get to see. Let's see how the Hidden Grass village reacted to the war, and how they weren't really a part of it, and they didn't have a say in the Great War, the Fourth Great Ninja War, and maybe have their village like shitted on or something. Things like that would just make the show more interesting. And speaking of the 5 main villages, we need to talk about the Kage, because they all need to be buffed. When standing next to Naruto, the 5 Kage look pathetic. The 5 Kage in the original Naruto were set as stepping stones to see what the strongest in the show look like. So we have 4 Kage who are decently strong, and we have the Hokage Naruto, who is literally the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. you kind of see the drop off there. Now, I'm not saying that like we should have Gaara make him stronger than Naruto. Obviously, Naruto's earned it, but let's just talk about some ways that these characters could receive buffs in the time we haven't seen, to where they have significant power growth that would make them somewhat compatible to Naruto, or at least in their own respects, to where we have seen them grow as characters. I'm gonna start off with the easiest, who I think is the Mizukage. Honestly, I feel like an easy way just to buff him is giving him Samehada. For those of you who don't know, that's Kisame's sword, the shark skin, which is able to absorb chakra and make people turn into this like shark monster thing. I feel like we could actually work that in within the Boruto series, obviously with the future arc when they go to the Land of Waves. And I think it'd be pretty interesting to see, and it's pretty easy to make him stronger with that. Next is Korosuchi, the fourth Tsuchikage, and I think an easy way to buff her is honestly just to keep her where she is as far as her abilities go and her items. However, just to make her more creative with what she has. According to the data books, she's the most adept out of the Kages in using Genjutsu, but we never get to see that. Another thing I think would be cool is she was more creative with her lava style, like we've seen it used before. And I think that's just a really cool way to buff her. After that, we have Darui, and again, another simple buff we can just give him is give him the Raikage's ability. And by that, I mean his Nin Taijutsu, where he enhances his body with lightning. Every Raikage has done it before, so I think teaching it to Darui would make sense, especially in the context of the show. Up next, we have my boy Gaara, and to give Boruto some credit, I do like how the show already established that Gaara still has a connection with Shukaku. Something I think would be interesting is that either Naruto or Killer Bee were able to teach Gaara how to use its Tail Beast Bomb. Another thing I would really think would be cool of Gaara to be is sort of like a Hiruzen character, where he mastered and all 5 elementals chakra natures, and he's just like a master jutsu, and he just kind of grinded, kind of like how Orochimaru did. Now that I established kind of a world that Boruto would be introduced in, as far that would make things a little bit better. Now let me go arc by arc, and breaking down what's wrong with each arc and what could be changed to be better. And the first arc that we're going to be talking about is, of course, the Sumire arc. I think that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. Some things I need to address before I go deep into these arcs, though. The Jogan is stupid. Just give Boruto the Byakugan. It'd be a lot easier, and then having us to learn another Kikagenkai in the show. There's too many. I think it'd be better for Boruto just have the Byakugan anyway, and in the first arc he would just unlock it, rather than him having this other weird Kikagenkai. Now another thing we gotta discuss, villain. Sumire, I like her concept. I like her being from the Root Organization. I do think the Root Organization should have a better part in being a villain for the whole series of Boruto. Now, what I don't like about her is, 1, her ability set and how strong she is, even though it doesn't really make any sense. And 2, the way she's forgiven. Now, we're going to fix both of them. Now, before I like to go into further detail about Sumire's character and how I think she would be fixed, I'd like to ask you, do you remember that really bad Naruto Shippuden filler with the guy Sora, and he was kind of like, not really a clone of Naruto, but he kind of had Naruto's like Nine-Tails Fox powers thing, sort of. Well, that's why I think Sumire should be. I feel like having Sumire as this weird kind of clone Naruto experimentation that the Root Organization did would be really interesting. And those of you who have read the Naruto light novels, the Root Organization did stuff like this in the with these drugs that they would take with Naruto's DNA and Sasuke's DNA to mimic their abilities. This could also explain Sumire's chakra to summon Nu, or Mu, whatever his name is. I can't remember right now. Which would also be pretty cool. and there could also be more of an attack. You could have Sumire turning into this, like a fourth to sixth tails version of the Nine Fox, and you can have Mu or Nu, whatever, attacking. And you can have several of the Root Organization members invading the Hidden Leaf, kind of like how in the Sora filler arc was. I'm gonna call it that. Obviously, we would have all the ninja, all the Leaf Ninja dispatch the Root Organization, pretty handily. But how I feel like Sumire would be dealt with is actually Naruto would find her and have her one-on-one. He would he would suppress her Nine Tails, kind of like what Naruto did with Sora and the filler, and he would take her in as his student. And this is why Boruto would start to kind of grow a little bit of hatred for Naruto. I think having Naruto paying more attention to Sumire would be another good reason for Boruto not to want to be like his father and to kind of want to, surpass him and to see him as sort of like a stepping stool to beat, because Naruto is now putting all of this attention away from Boruto into someone else. I feel like a good way to end this arc is Boruto going up to Hinata and requesting training from her. Because not only does it show Hinata as a strong mother figure, it also gives her some more screen time that I think she needs and also deserves, because she is a cool character. And I don't like her getting the shonen woman treatment, which is basically every female character who gets married to the protagonist gets pushed to the side. Now we get to the Sarada Uchiha arc. The first arc actually, in the Boruto manga at least, or in the Boruto storyline, that was actually written by Kishimoto. And also the arc, I believe, has the most potential to be great. Sarada is a very interesting character. My favorite character out of the three Teen 7 members, that being out of Sarada, Boruto, and Mitsuki. The whole big thing about this arc was Sarada meeting Sasuke for the first time and discovering her Sharingan. And we could have gotten a lot of emotional scenes, but we really didn't. And from what we did get was very rushed over. I would have preferred a much longer, drawn-out arc. So we could have gotten some more character development for Sarada. And not only Sarada, but Sasuke as well. Whenever I think about this, I always think about the first arc of Naruto, when we saw Naruto and Sasuke compete to get the top of the tree. That's what I call character development. I need small moments like this, not these boring ass fights and villains with terrible motives. That's another thing that really bothered me with this arc. The villain fucking sucks, Shin. Basically, the whole gist with Shin is that he is one of Orochimaru's old experiments, and he wants to revive the Akatsuki, and he also wants to kill Sasuke, because Sasuke killed Itachi. And it's all pretty dumb. Now, this character could have been elaborated on a lot more to be made more interesting. For me, what I would do for a goal for him is for him to find Madara's eyes, because they still exist, or at least they should still exist. I think that'd be a pretty unique goal, at least so he could take down Sasuke, or maybe find Sasuke and have Sasuke revive Itachi with Rene Rebirth. It's also shown that he actually has a clone, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. And so they introduced that there's like a bunch more clones, up to the thousands, and then it just gets ridiculous. Having two villains was enough, and it would create an interesting dynamic. Have the little kid be confused with the older Shin's radical ideas, and that could create conflict. And not only that, it would make more sense when the little Shin 2.0, kills him. Oh yeah, I forgot. They're all the same person. This is also pretty dumb. It's also really dumb to see all these Shin clones go to the orphanage. Like, why can't you just be one? Why is Kabuto still running the orphanage? Why isn't he a villain? Wouldn't he be much more a compelling villain? I know Itachi put him on that stupid genjutsu, but just retcon it. Who gives a fuck? There's been plenty of smaller retcons before. Just do it. Who cares? I think there's a good spot where I can end the video. I'm definitely going to be bringing a part 2 covering the rest of the arcs, but I just need to get the groundwork for what I feel is missing from the show out of the way first. This show, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's full of so many missed opportunities that I would rather it take on, and hopefully the writers will take on in the future. I don't want to hate this show. Naruto is probably my choice of the big 3. But seeing a sequel to a show I hold really close to me becoming basically just a commercial for toys is kind of sad. Hopefully someone from Japan will see this and will make the right changes. But for now, I'll see you next time. Kyle with the Katana, out.